Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Welcome back to the Misunderstood Show. We have an awesome special guest today, Mason Creager with the Mason Creager Band. Mason is Bill Creager's grandson. What number are you in the line, grandson-wise? There's a lot of y'all.
There's a lot of us.
It's kind of like...
I think grandson-wise, I think I was number 2.
Yeah, I was thinking you were kind of up there because it's like you, Ryan.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of...
Maybe I was number 1 because I'm older than Ryan.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Maybe I was the first.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Oh, we have a huge family.
I know. I love your family. So yeah, he's come in today. He's going to sing us some songs. This is kind of like, so today's a little bit different than normal because this is more of a tribute to Bill.
Yeah.
He passed away March
3rd.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I should remember that. It's my brother's birthday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I spent my spring break down in San Diego, Texas.
San Diego, Texas.
It was fun. We had a good time. You know, funerals are really hard, but sometimes it's the only time you see your family.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt really honored to be there. And your family is so welcoming. And and of course, Betty, your Aunt Betty.
I know. She's the best, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Since the first time I met her 15-something plus years ago, she's just always been so sweet. And she looks so good.
Yeah, she does.
Right?
She's also
I almost didn't recognize her.
Yeah, she's amazing. I call her my Gomacita, and I think that means caretaker.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm going to Mexico next week, so should probably brush up on my Spanish.
On the Espanol.
Yeah. I'm gonna wing it.
Where are you going to Mexico?
Puerto Vallarta.
Nice.
I'm taking the kids, taking the boys, and I'm excited. I'm trying to get all my stuff together and wrap up everything at work, make sure I don't have any loose ends, and make all my calls, and then I make an itinerary so we don't forget anything, and because we have like excursions planned.
Yeah. Are y'all staying in a resort?
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
What is it called? I can't think of the name right now.
Secrets?
No. So we won it. It's through Raintree.
Okay.
We went to a wolf sanctuary. They were doing a big fundraiser out in Navasota.
Nice.
And they did a silent auction. And nobody had bid on this trip. It was for Puerto Vallarta or Cabo.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick one or the other.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, nobody's bid on this. And so I was like, I'll just bid on it and get the bid going, you know? Nobody ever bid on it, which is weird because
that's wild.
It's like, I was like, what's wrong? So I looked at the resort and everything, and it was like a nice resort, and it's on the beach.
I mean,
I got it for nothing because the first bid's always super low. It's valued like 3 times more than what the starting bid was.
That's insane. What a steal.
I know. Because people just donate these trips.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though it was inexpensive for me, it was still quite a bit of money that went to the wolf sanctuary,
of course,
right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's a great thing. So if anybody wants to donate as a tax write-off, you can donate to the wolf sanctuary. They're always, they have so many wolves out there.
Wow.
And it's a really neat place.
And this is where?
In Navasota. Yeah. And like during Halloween, they do this big deal. And I think the fundraiser, I think, is around Labor Day every year.
Nice.
And they do a silent auction. It's nothing fancy out there.
Yeah.
But so one of their like big sponsors is Chuck Norris. He has like a named wolf out there. They let him name a wolf because he donates so much money. And they have like all his stickers and stuff. And so I have his sticker on my laptop.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. I was telling Megan, my wife, about Chuck Norris, and she, bless her heart, she didn't understand she'd heard of Chuck Norris, but she didn't understand. I think I made a Chuck Norris joke one day, and she didn't laugh or didn't get it.
It is for an older generation.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised you almost know what it is.
Come on.
But I could see that because for one, it's more of a guy thing.
Exactly. I think it's, yeah.
And I grew up with guys. I have 4 brothers and just all the Chuck Norris stuff.
Yeah.
And it's more my generation as well.
Yeah.
Like he was really popular when I was growing up.
Yeah. So yeah, I get it. We
Megan,
were on the tail end.
how old is Megan?
She's a year younger than me. She just turned 30.
She looks so young.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, she always looked. We'd been dating for a while. She always looked older, and then it's crazy as we're getting older, she still looks the same, which makes her look younger. So good for her.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of the same way. Like in high school, I would get hit on all the time by like older guys.
Yeah.
And then as I started getting older, everybody was like, "Oh, you look so young." I'm like, "Well, thank you.
Well, thanks.
That's
It's a compliment.
great." Yeah.
It's a compliment.
I just kind of stayed the same age, just like Matthew McConaughey.
That's right.
I get older and they stay the same age.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what do you got for us? Do you have any new releases coming up?
I just released a song in March. That was a single. It was called Feeling Alright. So that was kind of to get the ball rolling again.
Yeah. Because I know you had surgery and had to recover from all that. So you took a break.
Yeah. What a mess. I was so out of touch with, what actually goes on with your vocal cords and, how it works. I always just, sing and not really had a thought of
It's like
what I'm doing or, I'm like, okay, that sounds good or that sounds bad. And, but I got to learn a lot about that because I had a node or a polyp on my vocal cord.
What does that cause from?
Overstrain on your vocal cords or not singing correctly.
So have you cleaned up your singing habits?
I have. Not necessarily. I don't think it was necessarily doing anything wrong. It was more so, I think, from talking to the doctor, the lack of preparation, lack of warm up. When you go in and you're going to sing especially a 2-hour show or a 3-hour show, and you go in cold turkey.
Right.
It's just like, not stretching before you go on a run or a long run or anything. You pull something, right?
So you have to like warm them up.
You got to warm them up.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of exercises and went to
I know like some musicians
therapy.
do some weird stuff too. I've seen them like they're
I got to do them like by myself because they are very strange.
Some of them do it in front of other people, which that's why we're having this conversation.
I know. Megan will ride with me to a show sometimes, and I'm like, well, you got to sit through my vocal warm up, and it's like
Are you like caca?
You make little siren sounds. One of the ones I learned is
a beato.
A little, there was a little bit of that, but it was called. Oh man, I can't remember the name of what the exercise was called, but you blow into a straw into a cup of water and you're exhaling and you're like humming at the same time, and it's supposed to really activate your vocal cords, and you do it for like 30 seconds at a time. And so I'm just sitting here blowing in a cup, and then she
get
has
you a
to watch
Coke
me.
bottle to make noise while you're doing it.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Like that movie. Have you ever seen this might actually be beyond your age, but the Gods Must Be Crazy? That Coke, like a plane's flying over like Africa, and there's like these like locals, like I guess Aborigines or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
They're out there, and this Coke bottle falls from this plane or helicopter or something. I haven't seen it so long, but they find it and they think it's like the gods must be crazy, and so they send this guy like on a mission to take it to the edge of the earth and get rid of it.
I've never seen.
He's like blowing in it and doing all kinds of stuff with it, trying to figure out what to do with it. Like, what is this thing? They're like making sounds. Anyway, that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah,
it's like you're
it's kind of like that. I guess
kind of just toying with it and doing all kinds. They make cool sounds with their voice.
They do. They got. I mean, there's full. Almost like orchestras that they just do with bottles and Coke bottles and so yeah.
Or voices.
Yeah, or voices.
People that can like change their voice like to sound like animals and different.
Isn't that crazy?
I can't even sing. Okay. So yeah, it's beyond my imagination. You can sing. You did sing at the funeral or at the reception.
The celebration. Yeah.
The celebration. Yeah. And I was like, oh, there he's back.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I say all that to say it's been a long road. I had 3 surgeries, which took way longer than what it.
Why so many?
So, again, this was all a learning experience, and so I went to the doctor and I got referred, and basically there's 2 different types of procedures to get rid of them, and one of them just came out, I think, in the past 10 or 15 years, and it's the non-invasive surgery where you don't have to go to sleep, and it's basically a laser. So imagine like it's a telescopic camera, and they put through your nose, up through your nose, and then down to your voice box, and so it's got a camera on it. So I'm sitting here with my head back, and I'm looking at my voice box on the screen, and I see the polyp. And by the way, if you've never seen what a vocal cord looks like, it's a little inappropriate, I guess.
What do you mean?
It looks like something that it's not. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So you can Google it, and I'll leave.
Can you put up a picture for us, Dick?
I'll leave the rest to you. Anyway, so yeah, I was showing. So first time I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, that's
this guy.
That's what that looks like. But yeah, so we tried the non-invasive, which was the laser. So next to the camera is a little bitty laser, and basically they aim and point and
try to just blast it out.
You burn it off, pretty much like you would freeze off a wart or something, or burn it off. So we did that, and it was quick, 15 minutes, so you have to wait a week before you can even talk again.
Oh.
So you go in there and you're on the clock for at least 7 days.
Do you just like put duct tape on your mouth?
Pretty much. I had to do that at first because I was not used to it. By the 3rd time, I was very used to it. It was funny. I got a text to talk thing on my phone. And so when I was trying to talk with Megan, I would just type, and then I would let her listen to the phone, and we'd have full-on conversations. Work was tough because I have to talk to people. But so that went by, went back for the follow-up. Turns out she not only didn't get it or didn't get the root of it, but it came back even worse. And so she's like, look, we can try it again, and I can crank it to 10, I guess, and we'll really get this thing. So we tried it again, another voice rest, and 6 weeks before you can sing.
Oh my gosh.
And then I got through the 6 weeks, and I'm like, man, it's really bad. I don't feel any better. So I went back, and yeah, it was the worst that it had been, and she was
just like aggravated each time.
Pretty much didn't get the root of it, just pissed it off. And she was a great doctor. She was really good at
right.
What she does,
that's why they call it practicing.
That's right.
They're not God.
Exactly. I'm not gonna hold her accountable for
right.
For that, but
because you never know how the body's going to react.
Exactly.
It could be 99% of the time it's like this for everybody else.
That's
and
right.
For you, it's going to be different.
Exactly. And I think she said a statistic. She said this works 90% of the time, right? And
that's a pretty high statistic.
It was good.
And you're the 10%.
Exactly. I was in the 10%. So yeah, by that time she was kind of like, I've reached my capacity. I'm going to refer you to my mentor. And so I went and saw this guy downtown, and he's like, yeah, it's gotten really bad, progressively working. And the worst thing about this is, I wasn't on voice rest anymore, but I felt like I couldn't talk. Everybody thinks that the hardest part for me was like not being able to sing, but really the hardest part was not being able to talk.
Right.
Like just have normal conversation.
Right.
There was nights where I would lay in bed and, just pray that I don't care if I can sing again. I don't care if I can ever sing again. I just want to be able to talk normally.
Wow. So what happened at first to make you go to the doctor? Like, what was going on?
I was getting hoarse. I remember I played a long weekend of shows, and usually, you're hoarse after the weekend, and 2 or 3 days goes by and you bounce back.
Right. Y'all are off like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. So a week went by, and I had another round of shows, and I'm like, man, this is tough. This is getting tough to sing. I don't know. Maybe I got something going on. So I went to the ENT, and then that's where he's like, yeah, and I need to go. You need to go see a specialist. So yeah, that's kind of what opened the door. So the third time we went the invasive route, the doctor was like, look, we got to cut this thing. So you're going to go under anesthesia, and I'm going to go in with this knife, and we're going to get the root of it. We're going to cut it. And he's like, there's more risk with this. You know, something could happen. He's like, I'm very good at it. You know, he had a whole list of people he worked with.
What is the risk?
Beyonce.
Like losing your voice forever?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just sounding raspy for the rest of your life.
So it'd be like The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
When Ursula stills her voice.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And she can't talk.
Same feeling.
She can't do anything.
Yeah. I haven't seen The Little Mermaid in ages.
Oh my god, that was like my favorite Disney movie as
but
a
again,
kid.
that's like
that's
the
a girl movie.
The girl versus a guy. You know, wasn't too in The Little Mermaid.
I used to sing a lot to that show. But we're not going to do that because I want people to continue to listen to my show. I actually took a test at church on my, what is the word? You know, things that you're good at.
Yeah.
You know?
Like an aptitude test or something.
Yeah. And so it'd tell me like, but personality wise, or like your gifts, right?
Right.
And my least at the very bottom was singing, which I love to do. I love music, but I sing in the car by myself mostly.
That's funny.
My kids caught me one time with my AirPods in singing on the row machine and recorded it.
Well, that's funny.
My dad would tell me as a kid, "You sound like a dying calf in a hailstorm." I'm like, thanks for the confidence booster, because I wanted to be like on TV. I mean, I was in front of the TV dancing, watching my VHS New Kids on the Block over and over, trying to learn all the moves, you know, with my girlfriends in the living room. We had this big living room and it was open.
Yeah.
I lived with my dad for 3 years in Austin, and he was a bachelor. So it was just me and him. And we would just, be silly, because that's what dads do.
Yeah.
And it was good times, man. Listening to all the 90s fun, like teeny bop movies. Like, back then you could watch like their concerts on like VHS.
Yep.
And it was fun. But my dad was like, I'm not going to let you embarrass yourself.
Yeah.
You can dance, but you cannot sing.
Right.
Like, oh.
I'm going to let you have fun, but I love you.
Yeah. And so then I wanted to be a dancer for a long time, like a hip hop dancer.
Yeah. Or
a country dancer or something. But that's not really a career.
Yeah.
I found out. Like, going to Midnight Rodeo doesn't make you money. It costs you money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually telling my husband, Casey, the other day.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. And I was like, yeah, my friends and I went to Midnight Rodeo every week for like 5 years just to go dancing. And when we left, we were serious dancers, though. Yeah. Like, we actually were there to dance.
Oh, yeah. Y'all were coordinated and everything.
Oh, and y'all a lot of my guy friends, and there was like old men that would always go. This old black guy, he's a cowboy.
Yeah.
He was always there. He wasn't drinking. Yeah. He was there to dance. Yeah. And when you left that place, you were sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
And sore.
You're there for a purpose. You're not there to party.
I'm there to dance, man. I'd stretch before I went.
That's right. See, you get warmed up.
Yeah. I made sure I was comfortable and comfortable clothes I could dance in.
Yeah.
I wasn't dressing like a hoochie.
Yeah.
No offense to those, because I have those friends that were dressed like hoochies.
Of course.
But I still love them.
Of course.
But that's not me. Yeah. I was probably in a t-shirt.
Yeah. Hey, that's how you know you're serious.
Yeah.
I'm not here to get anybody's attention. I'm here to dance.
Yeah. So do you play often around here? Because I know like every once in a while you'll play like kind of, but you're mostly on the coast.
Yeah, I play a lot kind of in Mont Bellevue, Baytown area is kind of my hot spot over there. I have a few.
You're very popular there.
Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah, I mean, I say surprisingly. I play there a lot, so I hope I have a decent following. But I've come to make a lot of friends. There's a group that goes out to all of my shows out there, and it's fun to see the same faces showing up at your shows. Even though they've heard my songs thousands of times.
It's like the Roger Creager fans, like me.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's cool. Around here, I'm starting to dip my toes a little bit more. Played at Montgomery County Fair Played at a crawfish festival. Trying to get into. What's the
So
name of that?
Crawfish Festival in Montgomery?
Yes.
Peyton just played there.
Really?
This year.
Really? Yeah, I played there this year.
You did?
Yeah, that was the Crawfish Critic Fest. Is it that one?
I don't know.
It was in May.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It was
how
like
many
April, May. It's kind of a blur. The
I don't
spring
know
is a
how
blur
many-
for me.
how many crawfish festivals they had, but it was packed. It was a big.
They
big
usually have like
show,
a
very-
pretty long lineup
Yeah.
of people. We
I-
went last year, but I didn't get to go this year.
Maybe it was a different one because I
You would have seen her.
yeah, I would have definitely seen her.
So she came on. I don't know if you saw the
yeah,
show.
Yeah, I saw she was. I did
She
not
sang-
watch the whole show, but I saw her.
The
come
very end, she sings her new song. It's awesome.
on. Amazing.
So we're-
She's super great.
I'm planning my customer appreciation event that I do.
Yeah.
That you're my headliner
Yeah.
always because you're my favorite.
Yeah,
But I asked Peyton if she'd come, and she said if she's available, she'll come.
nice.
So we can get her out there. I don't want her to play like a whole set. I just
Yeah.
want her to come out. We can get her on stage. Y'all can
Absolutely,
hopefully duo or something.
for sure.
It'd be really fun.
Yeah, she's
And-
amazing.
Yeah, she is. She's about to blow up.
Oh yeah, she's right.
She's
on the cusp.
young.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
single. She,
yeah.
she doesn't have a big career she's chasing.
Yep.
You have a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like if you didn't have this huge career that you inherited,
Mhm.
because you kind of like didn't have a choice, huh?
Exactly. Kind of, pretty much.
I
I
mean-
felt obligated. I say that
You could have gave it to your sister. She's smart.
and she is. She's very smart, and she would be doing a great job too. Yeah, I mean, but she wanted to do the real estate thing, and with my mom, so it was kind of like she had her path picked out, and it was. Yeah, my
It's
dad
probably
was-
a lot more flexible for her kids.
Yeah, for sure.
And her husband and his career
sure.
because he's a preacher.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they have like weird hours.
Exactly.
And then yeah, so it probably is better for her
Yeah.
because he works on the weekend, so they
He
really
does.
have to have a day off during the week, and that
Ex-
really wouldn't work for her.
Exactly.
She would never have a break.
Exactly. So she helps out. She does little things, for the company, but yeah, she stays busy with the real estate side.
Yeah, and she is an incredible singer.
She is. Yeah, I always tell everybody she's the best voice in the family. And I'll put her
Your
up against.
mom sings.
Yeah, my mom sings.
Does your dad sing?
He does, and he can hold a tune.
Okay.
You
Does he play guitar?
No, he doesn't play an
Okay.
instrument.
I'd never seen him. He just has fun.
He just has fun.
He's always smiling.
He's a good dancer, though.
He is a good dancer. I've danced with him.
He's a great dancer.
at Green Hall.
Yeah, he's a really good dancer. He always gives me crap about not being able to dance. I can hold a two-step, but he's out there swinging and doing things that I definitely cannot do.
Your grandpa was a really good
He
dancer.
was a really
That's
good
how
dancer.
I met the whole family.
That's
was
right.
your grandpa.
He loved to dance. Yeah, he
Because he helped me out because I cut my leg, and he was like, "Hey, got a towel? It was a Roger Creager towel. I still
Yeah.
have it." And
He
he was
told me about that,
wiping me up, and I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he was like, "Now you owe me a dance."
That's
You know how he is, ladies man. He's a little ladies
Oh
man.
gosh, man. Yeah, he was a hoot. There was always he was always looking for a dance, always looking for a good time.
Yeah,
And
always laughing.
oh yeah.
I've seen him mad a few times.
Oh. Ooh, yeah.
He had a little bit of a temper.
He can flip a switch.
I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of people that don't know about that.
no." He
That's
seems
fine.
so sweet and funny and having
Yeah.
a good time and
Yeah.
laid back. And then, but if you piss him off, you're gonna
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any tolerance for BS.
Nope. He doesn't. He does not. Yeah. It's he does it his way, and he doesn't have time for the negativity and he would tell you that,
Yeah.
He'd be like, if
think it
you
was
want
when-
to cry, go cry somewhere else.
He got sick, like 10 years ago or so? Pretty sick.
before the heart surgery.
Yes.
Yes.
And they made him quit drinking.
Yes.
And
didn't
he
like
did
that
not
very
like
much.
that. And
He
he would
didn't
get
like that.
mad because
Yeah.
he would try to sneak drinks.
Yeah.
And then somebody would take it from him and he would
Yep.
get mad.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't like that very
It was
much.
kind of funny at the It's just
Of
funny.
of course, it's hilarious. Yeah.
I'm like, this old man. He's like, "You don't tell me what to do. I'm a grown man."
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
"Dude, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Like, we care about you. We love you. We want you to live."
Yeah.
And then he survived all that and overcame it, and he was back at it because we went to his 85th birthday at Lukenbach.
Uh huh.
That was a big party.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Yeah.
And when Kevin was there and everybody.
Yeah.
And I loved that too because that was 45 minutes from my house.
That's nice.
So it was very convenient.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriends all loaded up in the Suburban and went out there. And it was so much fun. We ended up hanging out afterwards out in the parking lot in the grass, you know.
Yeah.
Dancing in the grass.
Yeah.
And
Lukenbach's a blast.
Oh, it was so much fun. Man, I hope y'all still do stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess you're going to have to take over, huh?
I don't know. I definitely can't fill those shoes.
Well, you were kind of your grandpa's favorite.
Well, if that's the case, he didn't.
I feel like that's how he talked about you.
And you know, he would not that he wouldn't tell me that. You know, he would always give me words of encouragement and words of criticism as well.
Because he loves you.
Because he loves me, yeah.
I was telling Jaron since the other day he didn't want to hear.
Yeah.
He hung up on me. I was like, that is really disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he adored you. He always talked about you.
Yeah, he.
Oh, you got to call Mason.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you get Mason? Blah, blah, blah. Like I posted something one time about needing a band.
Yeah.
Call Mason. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're right. And that's when I called you.
Yeah.
That was your grandpa.
Yeah.
He always posted happy birthday on my Facebook page. Yeah. He just always liking all my stuff.
Yeah.
He was like one of my top fans.
Of course. He was super avid
he was sitting around doing nothing.
The Facebook. Yeah.
He loved it.
He did.
Making jokes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Posting inappropriate jokes.
Always.
Sexist jokes.
Yeah.
And he could get away with it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to say anything to him.
Exactly. What are you going to say to Bill Creager?
If you know him, nothing.
Exactly.
Because you're an idiot.
Exactly.
He'll be like, I serve this country.
That's right.
You know, he's had it was really cool at his celebration of life, listening to all the stories.
Yeah.
When your Uncle Roy got there, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like the tears.
Well, my dad, yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, your dad.
But Randy.
Randy, sorry. Your Uncle Randy.
Yeah.
Your dad's Roy. Sorry.
Yes, Randy.
Randy got up there and was telling all those stories. And then Kat.
Yeah, Kat was really good.
Oh, because she's very candid.
Yeah.
She just tells it like it is. She didn't hold anything back.
Nope.
And yeah, I was choking up.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, you had so many stories. And yeah, I think the biggest thing, you know, you come to appreciate, you know, looking at his life from the outside, you know, looking in is, you know, what he went through and, you know, and how long he served.
The accomplishments.
In the Army and the accomplishments that he had and how.
And that you would never know.
He had so many accolades and, you know, we were going through his stuff in San Diego and, I mean, he had awards and, you know, just recognition from presidents. I mean, just writing him, thank you for your service. I mean,
that's crazy.
He was monumental. And then, you know, a lot of people met him, you know, after all that, right? And they think he's this happy-go-lucky, loving, because he was. But it's just that's the craziest part to me. I
didn't even know all that about him. I thought he was just like some farmer from San Diego, Texas that, you know, was riding his son's coattails.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
and he made it seem that way. He was never
about him.
Never about him. He was never one to be flashy or I did this or I did that.
Driving that old truck around forever.
Yeah. He was as simple as it gets because the more things, the more headaches. You know, as you add things to your life, and you know, he wanted it as simple as it can be.
Right. He was very simple.
Yeah.
He's always having a good time.
Yeah.
Like he's like, life's too short.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
That's it.
You know, he's not crying and making excuses.
Exactly.
Feeling sorry for himself. And
exactly.
I feel like you know, you gotta, you know, pull yourself up and just keep your head in it. You know, keep your nose up. Like you gotta, or your chin up, your nose. Keep your nose up.
Same. I think those go hand in hand.
Right. Keep your chin up.
Yeah.
Keep your chin up. That's what Casey tells me. Keep your chin up.
Yeah.
You do. You just gotta do it.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard to say when you're going through it.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's.
You gotta choose joy.
You do. I wrote a song. One of my favorite songs I think I've written lyrically was called "Victims," and it's about.
You're gonna sing it today?
It's about. I can. I didn't plan on that one, but I can. It's my version of that exactly. It's like we're surrounded by so many people, especially in today's age, of the victim mentality. Poor me, and these are the cards I was dealt. And
everybody feels sorry for themselves. Right. Oh, I have all these problems. All this stuff happened to me.
That's right. It's so and so, and then
I have trauma.
It's always somebody else's fault.
Everything is trauma.
Yeah.
This person looked at me wrong. I have trauma.
Exactly.
I'm like, seriously?
Yeah.
Life is hard.
Yeah.
Everybody's life is hard.
That's right.
Everybody. Yeah. Nobody comes in this world with just nothing. You think that somebody else has it better than you.
Yeah.
And you want them to grasp it, but they have their own problems. Like people who have money or rich and famous, billions of dollars, they can't trust anybody.
Of course.
They don't have real friends.
Exactly.
Like they have pressures of the world.
Yep.
And a lot of times those people have pressures of other people's worlds.
That's right.
They're in charge, like you're in charge of other people's lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I don't know if you want to tell people kind of what you actually do for a living.
Yeah. So yeah, my alter ego, I guess.
I know it's hard for me to envision you like doing that.
Isn't that crazy? People.
Do you just like go into that mode? Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I do that at work too. Like I'm a totally different like.
Yeah.
I get into like start talking about real estate and like all the rules and and I suddenly sound like I'm a lawyer.
Exactly.
But I don't want to.
Exactly. Yeah. I run the VP of a rescue and safety company. We provide like safety personnel, specialized safety services and training classes for all the upstream and downstream clients of the world, the Shells and Exxons, Valeros.
A lot of oil,
a lot of chemical refinings. And, there's a lot of safety regulations doing all that. And so you have to, a lot of these companies prefer to third party those services out, and that's where we come in. And so a lot of what we do is we provide people, and it's always a good and a bad thing, right? I love working with people. I love, the friendships and the camaraderie that I made. But on the flip side of that is it's like
stress.
It's stressful because you got, especially when you're the decision maker, and all. You gotta. These are people's lives you're dealing with, right? Their livelihood, and so
owning a business is not what it's cracked to be. Being in charge, being the boss, being the supervisor, being the manager,
right? Exactly.
That's a very stressful.
And then at the end of the day, you got to make money, right? You got to stay profitable, and that's.
And sometimes you have to let people go because you like them, you're a good person, but they keep screwing up.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the tough ones.
They're not dependable.
When you like them as a person, but. They just don't get the job
think
done.
about they have a family.
Exactly.
You're just like you feel bad for them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they are responsible for themselves.
Exactly right. Just back to what we were saying. It's you can't blame.
You gotta suck it up.
You gotta suck it up.
You gotta do a good job
sometimes. And I consider I'm as lenient gets, a little bit to my own fault.
I could definitely see that.
But at the same time, it's like I let people make their mistakes, and so that way it becomes evident. If they're not working out, I'm like, look, you showed your colors. I'm not going to sit here and micromanage you and tell you things you should be doing. You should have been doing this or shouldn't have been doing that. So I'm one to let people show their colors, and that just goes back to even the hiring stage. When you bring people onto the team, making sure that we know enough about them that they're gonna to be able to to be self motivated. Because that's my management style.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Micromanaging people doesn't make them a better employee.
It doesn't.
It actually makes them worse.
That's right. It's headaches for me.
And if you have to micromanage them, they shouldn't work there.
That's right.
That's how I feel too. My job is I have no supervision.
Yeah.
I either do my job or I don't.
That's right.
And I don't have one if I don't.
That's right.
Or if I do something stupid or do things I'm not supposed to do,
Exactly.
they're going to find out.
Yeah.
And especially in real estate, it's a small world.
Yeah.
But do you feel like I guess like you were kind of brought up into this, your dad,
mm-hmm.
and he's kind of like, he understands a lot of this and has been successful because of your grandpa.
Yeah. Yeah.
It trickles down
100,
generations.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And so that's why I try to explain to people is what you do in your lifetime impacts
Yeah.
generations.
Yeah, and
And your grandpa's life has impacted generations of people,
Yeah.
including me,
Yep.
and even my children.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
I know. It's true. And, you know, it's not necessarily like a certain craft. You know, my dad didn't serve in the army. It's not that you have to follow in somebody's
Right.
shoes. It was
It's a
just
mentality.
it was a mentality. It was establishing work ethic, right? You know, and commitment to something. And, you know, I think that's what
And following Jesus.
Do what?
And following Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think there's impacting generations. His impact is, it's hard to measure, I think, just because he met so many people and he was such that electric person and the character.
He's like the nucleus.
Exactly.
Of all these people.
Exactly.
Just following. And, you know, it's funny because everybody was following Roger, but really they were following Bill.
Of course. You know, you hear it all the time. You know, we love going to a Roger show, but to be honest, my favorite part is when your grandpa comes out.
Yeah, Bill wasn't there. Why would we go? I can listen to Roger all the time. Love you, Roger. Roger's a cool guy. Love him.
Great
but
guy. Absolutely.
It's Bill. And when Bill come on every show at the very last song, he comes out and he always has the energy. He's always smiling. He's always singing. He's always having a good time.
Exactly.
He's up there laughing.
And people just fed off that. I mean, it's how can you not be having a good time when you're watching that guy up there?
Yeah, and most of us don't even know what the song is about.
Exactly. You don't even know what it's saying. I still, to this day, I can tell you bits and pieces of what it's about, but yeah, it's you're singing along and you're hearing his...
It's about a big ranch, a love of a big ranch or something, right?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
Like Rancho Grande. It's a big ranch.
Yeah.
But he talks about love and all kinds of stuff
He
in the
does.
song. Because I know some Spanish, so I can understand some, but a lot of it you can't understand with the words.
Yeah.
They're kind of blurred or slang.
Right.
And so I'm like, what is he saying?
Yeah.
And I've tried to go through, and I guess I could just look up the lyrics, but try to figure out what it's saying.
Yeah.
But it's funny because I can sing a lot of it.
I can sing the whole thing,
but I don't know what I'm saying.
Exactly. I'm the same way. I can sing the whole thing and I don't know what I'm saying.
Are you gonna sing it today?
No, that is not on the list. But
you don't want to carry the tradition on?
No, that was his tradition.
That was his thing, right? You let that go down with him.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's never going to be the same.
Yeah.
A Roger Creager show will never be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's...
I feel bad for Roger.
Yeah, I mean, that's the toughest
I don't know
part.
Is he doing all right?
He's doing good. I've talked to him a couple times. He's busy. I don't see him that much. We were out of town when they were celebrating Ruby's first birthday.
Yeah, he's got babies.
Yeah, he's got babies now, so he's real tied up with being a dad.
And he's a stepdad.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's got a wife now,
Yeah.
and he's got all kinds of stuff going on. He's got all his career stuff going on.
So, and I think that...
But I just worry because he was so close to his dad.
He was, yeah.
They were together all the time.
He lived on his property for the past 6 years, 7 years.
It's hard to lose somebody when you're that close. When you're used to them being there all the time.
Yeah.
And so I have worried a little bit about Roger and his
Of course.
state.
And I think everybody does, and especially, family members. But I will say, to your point, is the family he's surrounded by now. He's got the kids, and he's got...
Yeah, thank God, right?
He's got joy in his life, right?
Everything happens for a reason.
Right.
Like, all that kind of happened
exactly
in perfect timing.
Exactly. So he's surrounded by, Chelsea is great. She's the best aunt I could ever ask for. And the love that she shows him, and being a mother, she's phenomenal. So he's surrounded by a really good group.
That's awesome.
He's being a dad now, which he always wanted to do, and he's good at it. I never thought I'd see that side of Roger, but but it's cool to see.
Yeah. When are you gonna have some kids?
I just turned 31, so
you got time.
I do, but it's one of those things, and that's another thing that puts it in perspective. When you lose somebody, especially a grandparent, you think about your kids or your future kids wanting to grow up with a grandparent and have them be such an integral part of their life
Right.
like he was for me. So it's like, my parents are older than, people my age. They had me a little bit later. So I say that to say I want my kid or kids to have them in their life. And so, yeah, do we have time? For sure. But it's not as much as I used to have when I was 21.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember when you were that age.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, by 30 we'll have kids. And, me and Megan have been together forever. So like, we're good. That sounds like something, when we get close to 30, we'll start talking about it. And here we are, we're 30 now. And we are talking about it.
I'm excited.
But just when it happens, it happens.
Megan's going to be a great mom.
She's going to be a wonderful mom. Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you want to do? You want to sing a song?
I can, yeah. Well, we can.
Are we doing we got to do a
We got to do it.
cheers.
I mean, if we're going to talk
Before
about.
the song or after the song?
Before the song. It's part of my vocal cord warm up.
All right, Dick. You ready? Oh, yeah. He brought 3. You have to do it for Bill. You remember Bill. For all y'all who don't know, Bill was on the show last year.
Yeah, that was the last
For
time
his
I was
birthday.
That was the last time I was in here.
And
Yeah.
so your dad was here, and we went to the Pacific Yard House and had a little celebration.
Yeah. I remember.
Awesome. Thank
I know
you.
it was kind of like a deja vu walking in here. Definitely.
Yeah, we had the beer truck out front.
Yeah, I remember that. There was a picture of me and him in there.
Yeah. And then we went and saw Peyton. Was it that day? No, that was a
No.
different time.
I think it was maybe around the same time, but it wasn't that day.
You're
she
right.
was at Do-Si-Do, right?
That was at Dosido.
Yeah.
Y'all came up for that.
Yeah.
That was fun too.
That was a lot.
We need to do stuff like that again.
I know. I went and played an open mic there. That was fun.
You gotta call me.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to keep it low key to like test the waters. I don't do a lot of
You
open
just have
mics.
to call me.
But yeah.
You don't want me to tell everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. I'm gonna let you say something.
I mean, I'm not gonna be poetic or anything. It's just for those that don't know, this was his favorite drink. He would always carry one in his boot, and if he did not have one in his boot, he had a bottle somewhere nearby. So yeah, at his funeral, we all took Fireball shots, and so I figured it'd be appropriate if we're gonna talk about him.
I agree.
We drink Fireball. So
I'm not a fan, but I'm gonna do it.
to Bill Creager.
To Bill. The man, the myth, the legend.
That's it.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's not my favorite, if I must say. But
It has a little bit of a gasoline taste.
yeah, definitely cold.
Better.
Much better.
Yeah, I probably should have thrown it in the fridge. You have a fridge around here?
It wouldn't have been cold enough. Freezer. I want them like
Yeah.
ice cold.
In a glass bottle.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Woo!
All right, Bill. We love you,
Mm.
man. It's never going to be the same, but I'm eternally grateful to have known him.
Yeah, I know he. I think he was asking me. It was either a birthday or a graduation present. He's like, "Hey son, I was thinking about getting you something. What do you want?" And it just came natural to me. I said, "You don't give me anything. You gave me the best thing I could ever ask for, which is your last name." And he was happy to hear that. So,
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
You're such a sentimental, sweet guy.
and I didn't mean to be. I was just being honest. I was
Right.
just like, you gave me, this Creager name. You start look at this family you've created. And it's so yeah. That's but I did. He ended up getting me something anyways, even though I told him that. He gave me this strap.
Oh, I love how thick it is.
I know, and they're handmade. She makes them. I think she's in El Campo, and Yeah, she does. If you notice, if you ever go to, any Texas country music show, they all have these. Roger has one.
Right.
Anybody, who they have them, and it's kind of a staple. So he got one made for me, which I thought was really cool. I got that.
He was always
A&M.
doing stuff like that for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I heard so many stories about
Yeah.
him. He did stuff like that, not like that, but he
Right.
was just always so thoughtful
Yeah.
about things, or just calling me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like he would just call or text me, or
Yeah.
hey, we're in town, or
Yeah.
what are you doing? You coming out? Where are you at?
Yeah.
Why aren't you here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why are you thinking of me?
Yeah.
It made me feel special
Yeah.
because he knows so many people. He could have been
does.
calling anybody. He doesn't let a lot of people in his circle.
No, he doesn't. No,
It's a large group of people, but that's 30 years of
Yeah.
gathering hand-picked
That's right.
friends.
Yeah.
And
It's smaller than what it seems.
Right.
The true circle.
I mean, our pictures look enormous.
Of course.
It looks like
That's because our family is
it's like a
just-
Mexican family reunion.
It's insane. Everybody
Um,
calls me the gringo. We stick out like a sore thumb, me and my sister.
Because y'all are
'Cause
more
we're-
blonde because your
we're-
mama.
Yeah, exactly. Blonde, white.
But you're
yeah.
good looking.
Well, thank you.
Your mother is
She's
gorgeous.
She is gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. You have good looks in your family. Your wife is like a supermodel.
Yeah, she's yeah.
Have you seen his wife?
Way out of my league.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I don't know if you follow him on social media or something.
I don't post that much anyways, so
She does. She posts all the time. I love her.
yeah.
She's a sweetheart. She's a diamond in a rough. She
Yeah.
is beautiful. She's sweet. She's smart.
Why do
She's
you
gonna
think
be
I
a
locked
great
her down?
mom.
I know.
I would marry her.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So you did good. What's funny is when you were, I think it was right after you got married, I ran into Roger and he was like, oh yeah, Mason got married. This girl, she's amazing. Da, da, da. And I was like, he was talking about her like
Yeah.
that. And I don't ever hear Roger hardly talk unless he's drunk.
Yeah.
He's hilarious when he's drunk.
Oh,
When he's
yeah.
sober, he's so quiet
He is. Yeah.
and reserved,
Yeah.
People are like, he is? Because on stage, he's like a totally different person.
Yeah.
But when we're sitting around, he's real quiet unless he's been drinking. Then he's
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
We went to Far West one night. Me, him, Bill, and my friend James. Actually, first we went to, this is crazy. One of the times Bill invited me, called me. Roger's playing at the Oyster Bake in San Antonio. You should come out and take pictures. First, he plays a prank on me. This is how awesome Bill is. He plays a prank on me. He tells me, hey, why don't you get up there on the stage and take some pictures? I was like, you sure? Is it okay if I get up there? He's like, oh, yeah, it'd be fine. So I go up there and start taking pictures because the crowd was like going through the trees.
Yeah.
Like as far as you could see. Like there was probably 6,000 or 7,000 people in this little stage at the Oyster Bake.
Yeah.
But there were so many people coming that like through the trees and everything. It was crazy looking. So I wanted a picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, get up there. You'll be fine. Just tell him I told you could. So I go up there. Next thing I know, I'm basically getting tackled by security. He is laughing. He's dying. I'm like, I hate you.
Oh god.
He thought it was so funny. But before that, he was like, hey, meet us over here. We have this birthday party.
Yeah.
Come over and hang out with us. I was like, all right. So my friend James and I, because I lived in the Valley at the time, down in McAllen.
Mm-hmm.
And James lived in San Antonio. So I was like, you know what? I'll come up. I'll stay with James. I'll come out, take pictures.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're running out of time. I have to tell my short story. I know it goes fast, right?
Wow.
It blows by. So, because I'm so cool, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
that's
kidding.
right. So engaged.
So he's like, come out. And I'm like, okay. So he gives me directions to this place or address. We're driving through like the barrio of South Side of San Antonio.
Mm.
We're a little scared because we're white. James is white, dorky computer guy, writes books about like software or something, like super nerd. Super cool guy, super nerd. He builds muscle cars too, though. So he's cool.
That makes sense.
And he just built like a big old Suburban, like restored it, jacked up.
I always admire people like that. I could never. So
We should go
that's
visit him. He lives in Spring Branch on some property out there.
Nice.
Anyway, he's like, yeah, meet us out here. So we show up. It looks like a chop shop. It was just like an old mechanic garage or something that they were having at random birthday party. And they have it set up like a stage and all this stuff. And I get there It's Flaco Jimenez's 80th birthday party. Are you kidding me? Alan Huff's there. All of them are there. They're playing accordion.
That's awesome.
Hanging out. It's like Flaco's friends and family.
Yeah.
But it was a bunch of dudes, like during the day, doing this, and me and my white friend. They were so welcoming. They were like, "Can you dance?" And I was like, "Actually, I can." Like, look at me and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was dancing with them, and they were just having a good time.
Back
and
to your
hooting
dancing
and
days.
hollering. Oh, I love dancing. If I have a good leader, I
Yeah.
don't like to dance with people that suck.
Yeah.
Like, because men have to lead, and
Yeah,
so
for
it's harder for girls.
Remind me to never ask you to dance.
Aw. Casey's a okay dancer. He's not like your dad,
Yeah.
but he's a good dancer. He has rhythm. Like,
Yeah.
you just have to have rhythm,
Yeah.
you know?
And
He can spin me a little bit.
I'm hard on myself. I have rhythm. It's just not anywhere near my grandpa or my dad.
It's practice.
Yeah.
It's because they do it all the time,
Exactly.
right? But anyway, yeah, so we went to Flaco Jimenez's 80th birthday. You know, he was inducted into the Music Hall of Fame. He's like the greatest accordion player
He
of all
is.
time.
He's a big deal.
For me to say I was there, I didn't take any pictures. I was just so blindsided
Yeah.
and having a good time.
That's how you know they're the best. It's the best event.
Best time when you didn't have time to take pictures.
That's-
I just wish I did.
Yeah. of
And
course.
then I had no idea what I was doing. And then we go to Oyster Bake. That happens. And then Bill's like, let's go to Far West or whatever. I think it was Far West still before it was Cowboys. And that's when all four of us went out and hung out. And Roger actually went out and had a good time and was dancing. And it was crazy because he was kind of incognito.
Mhm.
And people were like looking at him, but nobody was saying anything.
Right.
We were just hanging out like
That's
regular
always the best.
people.
Yeah.
It was so fun. So fun. You know who I saw at Far West that I'll never forget? The last time he played there in San Antonio was Chris Ledoux. So
Great artist.
I always think about Chris Ledoux when I go there
Yeah.
because he died like 3 months after I saw him
Yeah.
or something. It wasn't that far. Anyway, that was a long time ago. So you sing a song. Is this going to be tribute to Bill?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was planning. I mean, obviously you've heard the song. So yeah, I was gonna play that. I added a new like last verse to it. So it's been. I mean, this one's been tough to play at shows, so I can't imagine. You know, like back to your point on Roger. You know how that feels to not have that as a part of his show anymore, and I'm sure he's coping with it in his own way. But you know, even this song, it's emotional. It's one of those ones that I never thought it would bring the meaning that it has now. Didn't have to work today. It was such a happy-go-lucky, fun song. You know, that was obviously his saying. Didn't have to work today, so do whatever I want to do. But yeah, so now I sing it, and it's got a little bit different meaning. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to play.
Awesome.
I'll try not to mess it up. Sun coming up, I'm settling down. Been a long night of drinking and coming unwound. But there was a time that I'd have held and paid, but I don't mind. Because I didn't have to work today. We head up to Green, 'cause you show at the hall. Take a float down the river, start climbing the wall, or go with a line out on Galveston Bay. I'm feeling just fine because I didn't have to work today. I kicked my boots off, go watch them wave. Got my buddies, old Jose and Jim. They love sharing with all my friends. Take a drive across the borderline. No destination, just killing time. I'll follow this road wherever it leads, like a feather floating in the breeze. No, I don't care what tomorrow's gotta say, 'cause I didn't have to work today. So yeah, I added one more verse to this that I sing at shows now. Kind of one last tribute. Well, I didn't have to work today, so I hung my boots up, just sailed away. They'll tell stories about the places I've been, and I live on through my family and friends, taking drives across the borderline. No destination, just killing time. I'll follow this road wherever it leads, like a feather floating in the breeze. No, I don't care what tomorrow's gotta say. No, I don't care what tomorrow's gotta say. No, I don't care what tomorrow's gotta say.
You're amazing.
Mm.
That was awesome. You put me in tears.
It's every time it makes me get teared up.
I you know, it's, I know, like, obviously there's your grandpa, there's no comparison, but your grandpa just has such an impact on my life, and you know that whole verse about Green Hall. And,
Yeah.
you know, it takes me back.
Yeah.
To all those. I mean, I've seen him at Green Hall. I can't even tell you how many times. Probably 30 times.
Yeah.
Because spring break, summer, and then it's like every night in the summer, 4 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And then it's probably more than 30 times.
Yeah.
And just hanging out with him, and Lukenbach, and here and there, and Corpus, and I mean, the Valley, and
I know.
here.
I know.
I have so many memories of him.
I know. He, you know, back to your point of, you know, him doing things for people and always trying to set me up for a show. He's the reason I ever got a chance to play at Green Hall. And there's so many artists that are like, man, you got to play Green Hall.
Well, if you sucked, you wouldn't get to play at Green Hall.
Right. Yeah. But he was.
You take a little credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a video, by the way, y'all. If y'all want to go on YouTube and look up Green Hall, at Green Hall, he played with Roger, and I posted it, so it's under me. But it's when you sang "Purple Rain." Oh my god,
that is one of my.
It's recorded on my phone, but it's not actually a horrible recording.
Nice.
It's actually pretty good because I listened to it.
Yeah.
So I listened to my own recording because it's the only recording I have of it.
Yeah.
You need to make a recording of it for me.
Yeah, I can do that.
That would be amazing. Put it on Spotify, so I can put it in my list.
It's so many people ask me to do that. I think
you are really incredible. But I'm sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I was just saying, you know, that he was adamant about saying, you know, you got to play Green Hall. You know, this is a place that not only I want to see you play, but I want you to experience playing at Green Hall. So he was at the forefront of the coordination with Roger and making sure
I had no idea. That's
you can't
crazy.
just ask to play at Green Hall. Like, hey, I want to play at Green Hall. And so, but yeah, he said he was really an integral part of setting that up and to play there with him and to have those memories. Obviously, I've been to Green hundreds of times, but to play there with him there was fun. So that's why I kind of threw that verse in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that verse.
Yeah.
It's emotional.
Yeah, it is.
I hope I wasn't. I'm hoping that Dick had changed the recording to just you during that. Good. Thank you, Dick. Because I couldn't help it. I was like, ooh. But yeah, well, it's time for us to wrap up.
Yep.
I know it flew by.
It did.
I want you to come on again and
Yep.
again and again.
Yep.
Um,
I'm planning on releasing. I'm kind of tossed. I don't know if I'm going to do another single or if I'm just going to wait for the album. But regardless, I'll let you know, and maybe we can come do a sneak peek of
that would be great.
Anytime
Anytime you have a release, let me know.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get you on, support it. You know.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you can come here every week and be my co-host.
That's it's maybe a little much. I don't think you want to be around me that much.
Oh, come on now. All right, man. Well, it's so good to see
Thank
you.
Thank you for having
And,
me. It means a lot. Thank you for putting this together as a tribute to him. We're coming up on his birthday.
I know.
We got a show in Cyprus, kind of
When?
on July 5th.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's kind of it was scheduled to
I'm
be.
going to be in New Braunfels at Whitewater the 4th for Jaren's birthday. We're going to Whitewater.
Yeah.
Hudson Westbrook's playing.
Nice.
We can come back the next day.
It's a big one because that's his birthday weekend. It was planned
Right.
for him to celebrate his birthday weekend. Obviously now circumstances have
I didn't know
changed,
that.
but
I have to
we're
get the
still
details.
gonna. So it's Dos Barachos. It's Roger and Kevin headlining, and then it's me, and then it's my sister's band is playing
What?
as well. So it's a whole.
Oh my
family.
God, I have to come. We're coming back early.
It's
Casey, we're coming back early. And Casey says hi. Jaren says hi.
Hey Casey.
And please give your family my love.
I will.
All of them. And your wife. And I'll come back. I'll see you in a couple weeks.
I'll see you in a couple weeks. Come to that
Right.
show.
Yeah. Hope if y'all want to come out, guys, July 5th.
July 5th.
Cyprus.
The Rusty Horseshoe.
The Rusty
Spring
Horseshoe.
Cyprus, yeah.
Spring Cypress Rusty Horseshoe.
Yep.
And there's still tickets?
There's still tickets. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. And your new release is out on Spotify and all the
Spotify.
things.
Give it a listen.
Yeah.
Feeling all right.
Guys, y'all are missing out. If you haven't heard him, put him on your playlist. Add him.
Please do. I get 1 penny every time you listen.
All right, man.